Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. Right now, I'm going to be reviewing the soundtrack for Wonder Woman. Now, guys, big shout out to my friend Dylan. I did a couple videos with him a couple days ago. Dylan and I said villain. Dylan and I, we were talking on the phone, and we were talking about video ideas and stuff like that. And he actually brought it to my attention. He was like, dude, you're a musician. Maybe you should do soundtrack reviews for superhero movies. And I was like, yeah, I thought about it before, but I just never something I really said, you know what, I just want to do this right now. But it was in the back of my head. And, you know, after talking to him, I was like, you know what, I'll do it. You know, we'll get a soundtrack review in. So what better first soundtrack to review other than one of my personal favorite DC superheroes, Wonder Woman. So you guys know, if you guys are new, not new to the channel, you already know how much I love Wonder Woman, and especially the recent film, how much I really enjoy that film. I've seen it, yeah, I'm going, well, by the time you're watching this video, I'll be watching it a fourth time right now. By the time you're watching this video, we'll probably just finished watching it. And it's one of those things, I just love it. And we did a little video talking about soundtracks a couple of days ago. So if you haven't checked the video out, you probably should check it out. Link is right up there. You should check that out. And we were discussing how important it is for a soundtrack to be on point, especially with films, you know, superhero films, not just superhero films, but any film in general. You really need a good soundtrack to help carry that film. Sometimes it really evokes different emotions within you. All right, well, before we get into this review, before we get into that, guys, if you're interested, if you're new to the channel for some reason and you're watching the video for the first time, make sure to check out my Wonder Woman spoiler-free and or spoiler review. Links will be right up here as well if you want to check that out. Also, this is the one of the 3 videos that I'm doing until I go on my hiatus, so you're gonna be getting 3 videos today, well, this is the 3rd video. Actually, this is the 3rd video. Until I go on my hiatus. So you guys make sure you go follow me on my social media and everything. Links in the description box below, so you guys can get updated as to when I will be coming back. I'm going to be taking some time off to do some planning, some thinking, just to get a little break from doing this. I've been posting videos nonstop every day for the last 10 months. So it's crazy. So anyways, let's get into this review, man. So overall, guys, this album, well, let me tell you a little bit about the artist first. Rupert Gregson-Williams is actually the one who composed the entire soundtrack for this Wonder Woman movie. He's worked on, well, previously, The Legend of Tarzan. He's worked in that film. He's actually a member of Hans Zimmer's remote control group. So Hans Zimmer is kind of like, I would say, like a mentor to him, or like a big brother, essentially. So he's worked with Hans Zimmer before. So what a perfect choice for a movie like Wonder Woman. It really changes, it brings back similar styles that a similar style that we're used to from Hans Zimmer. And I'm a huge Hans Zimmer fan. A lot of you guys know that. I love Hans Zimmer so much. I love his writing style. A lot of my personal writing style when it comes to, because I write, I also do like film score stuff as well for personal reasons. Nothing I've really released, but I also write my own scores, my own themes and things like that. And a lot of my personal style has been inspired by Hans Zimmer. So I really love his style, and to have Rupert Gregson-Williams working on this is just amazing. One of the things that I love about this album, well, before you even go into that, I remember listening, because they released like a sneak peek or one song, I think 2 weeks before, and 2 songs. Sia's song, which features on this album, and I think we'll talk about that. But Sia, and then they released Angel on the Wing, and they released that like 2 weeks before the movie came out. And as I was listening to this, I was like, yo, this low-key sound like Legend of Tarzan. And at that time, listening to it, I didn't know that he did Tarzan. I was like, yo, this low-key sound like Legend of Tarzan. And then I scrolled down in the comments, and I saw someone else was like, yo, this sound like Legend of Tarzan. I was like, yeah, it does. So going to do my research, and I was like, yo, this guy actually did Legend of Tarzan, because his style is so similar to that movie. I was like, whoa. And Legend of Tarzan has a fantastic soundtrack, by the way. I love the soundtrack on that film. It's one of the better things about that film, actually, if I'm being quite honest with you. But his style is so, like I said, it's different and new. He has a great way of having very memorable melodies that are so good. And I'm going to talk about my personal favorite tracks on this soundtrack here. And then he has a great way, like I said, balancing between dark and broody and just light. It was so refreshing listening to this, because Hans Zimmer has worked on Batman vs Superman, he worked on Man of Steel, he worked on the Dark Knight trilogy, and that's for DC stuff. And of course, you guys don't know a lot of his work. He actually worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, from the second movie up to the fourth movie. He didn't do the fifth movie or the first movie, but the composer who did the fifth movie is actually one of his mentors who worked with, not one of his mentors, one of his pupils that worked with him on the previous films. So he always has this thing where he puts his foot in another thing. He actually co-did the soundtrack with Junkie XL, who him and Junkie XL, and Hans Zimmer, and Tina Guo, who actually plays the cello. I love her. She's one of my favorite cellists out there. They kind of wrote, they wrote "Is She With You," the main theme for Wonder Woman. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, so they did that track, you know, so iconic. So Hans Zimmer is known for, and this is what I observed with his music, he's known for repetition when it comes to a lot of his writing. You know, except for, you know, select films, but for the DC film specifically, he's known for a lot of repetition. What's wrong with me? Repetition, and a lot of really nice drums that are just, you know, and he likes to write. He said this, he likes to write in D, and he likes to write in 7. He likes to write in the 7. So a lot of his music, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. He likes to write in 7. He likes to do that stuff. I noticed that too. So a lot of his music, especially from Man of Steel, beats, stuff like that. And then for Dark Knight, he had stuff like that, and that's very similar to the Wonder Woman stuff, because for Dark Knight, for Bane's theme, he had and then when you go to Wonder Woman, it's very similar. So Hans Zimmer is known for that kind of stuff. He's known for that repetition and a lot of melody, and he works in layers too. Like, he has this thing, he starts off like this with one main melody going on, and then he adds some French horn, and he adds some strings, then he adds, well, some violins, and he adds some cellos, and he adds the little basses, and he adds some weird instruments, then he adds the full thing, and he adds some drums, and and it's the same thing repeating itself every 4 to 8 bars, and then he just layers it and just keeps going up, and by the time you get to the end of the song, it's like he goes from like dum, and then the end of the song is like bah. It's like he does a great job at that. But anyways, the difference between him and Rupert Gregson-Williams is that Rupert Gregson-Williams takes some of those elements, but then adds more to his melodies. So Hans Zimmer would go da 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 da, does that. Rupert Gregson would go da 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 dum 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 dum. So he adds those extra notes there and really creates a nice theme, and that's what he really did with this Wonder Woman soundtrack. I mean, a lot of the songs are so memorable. One of the most memorable things on this song, my personal favorite, one of my biggest personal favorites I'll talk about right now, is actually not No Man's Land, but actually Amazons of Themyscira. That's the first song that plays on the entire soundtrack. And that track played at the beginning of the movie, and when I heard it the first time, I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life when it comes to soundtracks. It was literally one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. It's so memorable, and he uses the main melody in that track throughout the album. And I would say when we go from that, and then we go to maybe Wonder Woman's Wrath. Now, Wonder Woman's Wrath, that song on there, actually is a compilation of every single track that I like on this album. So personal favorites will be Ludendorff Enough. It's a nice theme song for Ludendorff. And then you have Amazons of Themyscira. No Man's Land is a great 7-minute track. It's so beautiful, works in layers. We talked about it a little bit with me, and Dylan and I talked a little bit about it. It's really, really good. And there's that, and then Wonder Woman's Wrath, the actual issue with you from Batman versus Superman, so that track as well. So he does a great way, for instance, for Wonder Woman's Wrath, putting a little twist on the original issue with you soundtrack, and that's what I like. Track, and that's what I like. What he did too is that he really was able, without actually headlining that song, a lot of people know it already. So all you have to do, and almost every great composer does this. John Williams is known for doing this as well too. If you guys don't know John Williams, I don't know why you don't know him, but John Williams is known for, like, you know, especially Star Wars and, you know, Indiana Jones and Home Alone and Superman theme song. So he's known for those films, composing the soundtrack for those. And what was really great about it is that Rupert Gregson took that same issue with you track and was able to make different variations of it throughout the album, bring it up again, and like you have to listen to it, like main things from the song, like the strings, so the cellos and the bass. So what he would do is that he would take that, and that's from Issue With You. He would take that, and on top of it, he would add a different melody altogether. So it was like dum 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 da dum 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 da dum. So he would take that, and then on top of that, he would add maybe a variation of an earlier track. So for Amazon, the Themyscira. So as it's going dum 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 da dum 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 da dum, you're hearing da 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 dum da 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 dum. And he's adding that on top of the layer of the dum 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 da dum 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 da dum from Issue With You. So Issue With You is so present on this album. A lot of songs. You really got to listen to it to actually hear a lot of the things. And Wonder Woman's Wrath, that specific song too, has a great way of introducing that, and then introducing Amazon to Themyscira, that main theme, and then Ludendorff Enough, and all those great tracks I love about this, man. So if we were, I mean, since I'm talking mainly about a lot of my personal favorites here, No Man's Land, definitely up there, man. I mean, it's one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, and also a really iconic sound piece. You have, and Dylan had a great way in our video that we did of explaining this, was that on that field, the minute the song starts, she's no longer Diana Prince. She's Wonder Woman now, and she's walking, and we're getting that development. We're getting the slowness, and then as she's running, you're getting this nice theme. So it's not just random notes; it's actual memorable themes, and especially other stuff, especially from Angel on the Wing, that track earlier. He took some a main melody in that track and just kind of built it up more in the second half of No Man's Land. So like around the 2-minute mark, around there is when he really builds that up. But as she's running on the field and this, and it just really gets good and juicy and nice. And then when she breaks through the wall on the other side, you hear back to Issue With You. So it's a reminder to us, and props to Dylan for coming up with this, like for explaining it this way. It's a reminder to us of who she is. She's Wonder Woman, and she's here. And I love that. He does such a great job with that. This entire soundtrack, you can listen to it without having to, because there's certain, I'm not gonna lie, like, while I love Hans Zimmer, not every song he did I like. I didn't like every track. I didn't like every soundtrack he did. Every whole entire, I didn't like all of them. There's some Hans Zimmer soundtracks that I can't listen to unless I'm watching the film. Because it's just like I fall asleep to it. One of them in particular. And then with Wonder Woman, I can listen to this without having to see the film, because every song has a nice balance. Like I said, a nice balance between excitement and sadness and darkness, and really memorable melodies that you can be humming in your head all day. Like I've been humming this stuff, and I've been listening to this album for the last 2 weeks, really been trying to memorize each song as much as I can to really do this review in a way where I'm just not doing it half, you know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to put a lot of thought into this and to what I'm actually really trying to say. I just love, I really, 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 with all my heart and soul, love this soundtrack. It's one of the best things you'll actually really hear. I really hope that this soundtrack gets an Oscar nomination. I really hope it does, because I think he did a fantastic job. And it's not just me saying that because I'm a Wonder Woman fan, because I could be a Wonder Woman fan and the track could be trash. Like, for instance, The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that entire soundtrack from Hans Zimmer. Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, yes. The Dark Knight Rises, my least favorite, personally for me, my least favorite track, soundtrack from Hans Zimmer. I love the movie. All right, I actually like Dark Knight Rises, but I didn't really so much like the soundtrack. So I'm just using that as an example to say it's not really biased when I'm saying this, because I really loved Wonder Woman, but I try to look at this from a non-biased perspective as, hey, do I actually really like this soundtrack? Do I really like it? There's no song on here that I do not like. Let me make sure I said the right sentence there. Yeah, there's no song here that I don't like. I actually really like every single song. And I'm talking about personal favorites too, like Action Reaction. Woo! That's a song that plays at the end of the video. So before the before the end of credits, like the mid credits and stuff like that. That song plays and it's amazing. I love it. I love it. Every time I hear it, like I hear it, like I listen to this when I'm driving, and I'm driving. I'm just like, I just love the way it was arranged. Dum 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 dun, 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 dun. I loved it, man. It was so beautiful, and I get hyped every time I hear it. And every time I listen to the soundtrack, I want to go back and watch the movie again. Which is why I'm probably watching it now when you guys are watching this. So, I just love that, man. It was just a great thing. And what I noticed about Rupert Gregson is a lot of his soundtracks feature songs by modern or mainstream artists. So for Legend of Tarzan, he had a guest appearance from Hozier, who did, I think he did Take Me to Church. I think he did that song. On this album, towards the end, we have two phenomenal singers, Sia. Who doesn't know Sia? Sia and Labyrinth. If you guys don't know what Labyrinth, Labyrinth is a singer from the UK. This dude could sing, man. He has a lot of soul when he sings. And at first, when I heard it before the movie played, I heard it like 2 weeks before the movie played, I was like, I don't know about this one. But then as I kept listening to it, I was like, yeah. I like the way how it was arranged, and it's like Sia's voice is just amazing. I love her voice. I'm not a huge Sia fan, but I love her voice. Sia's voice is amazing, and Labyrinth's voice on top of that too. The way how they both did the song, it really closed the film up really nice, and it really spreads the message of Wonder Woman, love, and finding the human side of you. It's just amazing. I love it, man. I can't ask for anything better. Anyways, guys, make sure, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more soundtrack reviews, make sure to hit the like button. Leave your comments down below, man. I want to hear from you guys. If you watch all the way through the end, you're an MVP. Thank you so much for that, man. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Make sure to follow me on social media, guys. Thank you so much for everything, man. Clockmaster, out. Aroo!